And the best way to tell yourself the truth about the activity is to honestly track everything. Your calls, conversations, presentations, those are key pieces. Number of applications, carriers that you're writing with, all of that is vital to know, because if you're not, then it becomes about emotion. And if it's about emotion, then all these other pieces are probably need to be addressed as well.
100%. Structure beats motivation every single time.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. It's Zach and I.
Just hanging out.
We're just a couple of kids sitting on the front porch in our sweaty clothes from a day of basketball, drinking a Mountain Dew.
Tag on. Actually, we're not sweating at all. We're in the studio. And Chris, you're looking real nice today.
Well, you too. You look dapper.
I appreciate that.
Well, we're going to provide content that looks better than us. That's what we're doing today.
That's right.
We are giving you nuggets, tools, resources on how to make money. So if you're watching reruns of Designing Women, turn it off. Turn it off. That's an old show from the 1980s, okay? But turn off whatever anything else is. If you're in a car, pull over, put your flashers on, and listen to what Zach's going to drop today. We have a great conversation today about how does an agent who's crushing it win on a daily basis? What does the day snapshot? What does the day look like for a winning agent? That's really what this conversation is today.
And if you could probably guess it, this topic is right up my alley. I thrive in structure. I thrive in keeping things simple, taking away the emotional highs and lows of decision making when it comes to, being in our own business and starting in life insurance. So if you haven't listened to very many podcasts, so this might have been your first, this is a heck of a good one to start with.
Yeah.
And if you have people on your team or you're growing an organization or other people just their day is not looking like this and the results do not match, this would be a good one to send them to listen to.
Yeah.
To really break down on what it actually looks like to win every day, because we know most of the people in final expense land, as far as agents go, nowadays, which is different, are typically working from home. And there's a lot that comes into working from home. There's
a lot. And I want you to be honest on the front side of this. We're going to give you what works. And I think a lot of people will be saying, yeah, I'm already doing that, and it's not working. Mm-hmm. But I think if you had somebody else sitting in the office with you while you were doing your work.
Tell them about your magic power.
Is it like Professor X? I've got that helmet and I can actually see what's happening. Yes. Yeah. But if somebody was sitting in the room with you and they were watching, or if you were timing exactly the amount of time you spent on the phone, it may tell a different story. We're looking through our perception and our lens, and sometimes we have to step out of that and have a real, honest conversation with ourselves.
Yes, and by the way, your magic power is real. It's what I was talking about when somebody says they can't get anybody over the phone or they can't write an app. I've never done that. Chris literally he goes, okay, and he just pulls up a chair awkwardly. Well, not awkward for him, awkward for them. And he just pulls up a chair and sits there and says, okay, let's see you dial. And then immediately their back straightens up. They're ready to roll. Dialing. They start dialing, and then to a surprise to them, somebody answers. Yeah. And then they start going through, and it reveals on how much they didn't practice the script. But after they fumble through it and still get an app, you're like, see? Which is actually really cool, really cool. So when you said that, I imagined
you're talking
people
about in the boot camps.
In the boot camps, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It is amazing how many times somebody says nobody will answer, and you pull up a chair next to somebody to dial it. All of a sudden, 15 dials in, somebody answers.
Yep.
So
absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to touch on what really 5 key things that we want to discuss here of what you need to do every single day. And there are people that quote unquote work every single day, may work the same hours every single day, but what you do in those hours means more than anything. So I want to start with number 1, and it may sound really obvious because we are in the life insurance business, but it actually matters a lot. Yeah. And if we're selling final expense, Chris, our number 1 focus is to make sure that we're talking to seniors every single day. Every single day. And we're talking to that. We can't sell an app without communicating with them. We can't sell an app without reaching out to them. We can't sell an app without scheduling an appointment if they're unavailable at this moment. Like we have to generate that business. And sometimes for a new agent, that could be the biggest hurdle they face is how do I start that engine to start generating business? Yeah. I want to prepare. I want to move my papers around. And we see that in our boot camps.
Yeah. I think it's important to have some daily standards to having the conversations, because ultimately conversations don't only sell, they give you the opportunity to get through the learning curve to be profitable. And that is key. So these standards they have to become non-negotiables to us. One key piece we talk about in our training are what are things that we can control. We can control the number of opportunities we have simply by purchasing leads. Yep. The other one is the activity to move towards a conversation, and that's the dials of those leads. So we have a standard here of somewhere around 200 to 300 dials a day.
Triple dials.
The triple dials to get to a conversation. I mean, a dial shouldn't take more than 30 seconds. That's it. So total 90 seconds for triple dialing, okay? And making a commitment to that. Now, let's talk about the lead just for a moment. If you have 200 leads total, we'll say you have 50 leads for the week, because I think that's a lot of times that's where new people start. You have to have a realistic expectation of how many conversations you're going to get out of those leads. And if you're dialing second week on your 50 leads, 200, 300 times, that's going to be exhausting. Yep. So you got to make sure that you have the right amount of opportunities in these conversations as well. Yeah,
I think that's very important. When we're talking about winning every day, having enough opportunities to be able to win is crucial. This isn't roulette. We're not, buying 4 leads hoping to sell 2 or 3, right? So being able to do that. So 200 to 300 triple dials a day, that number fluctuates depending on the number of presentations we actually give, which takes up the bulk of the time. But we're looking to have 20 to 35 live conversations where we actually talk to people. Now, we could have various results of that, right? It could be you can sit there and have a full conversation with them and do a presentation. They could legit be busy or leaving or picking up a grandkid for which we schedule an appointment or a callback. There could be multiple people that we talk to, and maybe this isn't for them, right? There are different scenarios, but we want to talk to 20 to 35 people, and ultimately our goal here is to have 8 to 12 presentations that day, or a combination of appointments. I'm not expecting to have 8 to 12 full-length presentations every single day. If you do that, you would really win the day. But there are going to be a combination of people that we do have appointments for, not that we like appointments, but that we may have to schedule for later in the day or the following day or following couple days. Hopefully not. But what do you look for, Chris, when you're talking about presentations and appointments?
If you find yourself with find that you're setting a lot of appointments, and here let's give some context. And maybe if you find yourself talking to people who are at home, they followed your instructions to a certain point, but you're setting an appointment. That makes me a little nervous on why there's an appointment being set. Yeah. Okay. If somebody's driving, or they're at the grocery store, or they're sitting in the doctor's office waiting to go in, then that makes more sense. why an appointment would be set. So if you say to me that you have 20 appointments for the week and you haven't done any presentations, then we need to take a look at what's happening and why those
training moment.
Yeah, those are some training opportunities. And honestly, looking at these numbers, these are like, if you're committing to these type of numbers, these are high producing numbers. These will produce on a high level for you, because you may say, well, I did 8 appointments, or I did 8 presentations in a day. That's a lot of presentations. If you did that many presentations, and you got your skill set in there,
you're going to win.
You're going to win. You're going to get 1-2 sales as a new person getting 8 presentations. But if you're a skilled person or you've gotten through the learning curve, you may get 4 applications. That's, the possibility of getting 16 applications for the week. That's strong, and that's what a top producer's doing.
One app for each person you call, and you're only closing at a 50% rate.
Right.
Like,
correct.
It's for a top producer there. I mean, that's a 10 app day.
Yeah. Those are nice days.
That might be a 10 app day.
Yes.
Because you have couples and other things involved there. So we know these are standards. These are the non-negotiables. These don't fluctuate based upon the previous day's performance, good or bad. These are what we're shooting for every single day. If you're going to say I'm working today, this is what I want you to do today.
Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career.
The second thing was we move into, and this is focusing on what every single call we have should include, right? And number one, it's focusing on you need to be a difference maker. And when we talk about being a difference maker, it's encompassing all who we are as people, everything we incorporate in our training, because we put our people first. And we really want to do the absolute best job we absolutely can for everybody we talk to. So what does that include, Chris, when we talk about, being a difference maker on every single call?
I would, important piece to this, while your lifestyle and your income is important, understanding that the priority is serving the client and everything else will be taken care of as you serve your clients. And the good news, what does that look like? Okay, the good news is we have a principled sales process that is based off of being a difference maker. So in our sales process of transferring belief that you believe you are the best person, you have the best products, you have the right products, and you have a community that needs your services. Establishing trust, discovering and elevating the stakes, reviewing the options, and then providing a solution. Like, that's having a principled sales process. If you're just going to wing it, you'll get by in your personality for a little bit, but you won't know why you're winning or losing. And most likely you aren't going to have business that sticks.
Absolutely. I think another point in being a difference maker is maintaining the confidence and control. Most importantly, at the beginning of the call, where you're not calling trying to take an order if you're getting a live transfer, or you're not calling or doing an outbound call and they're answering the phone and you're trying to qualify immediately. We want to have confidence. We want to have that conviction, but we want to maintain that control. That is absolute crucial at the beginning and throughout the entire thing. We really want to focus on using their names of the clients, the spouse's name, if we're uncovering who that is. Incredibly important. We always say the stakes have a name. So that is going to be the beneficiaries, or it could be the spouse if the spouse is the beneficiary there. But using their names, you're a real person, they're a real person. We're doing a real thing for real people because they love somebody else. That is a crucial one. What's another one, Chris?
Asking the questions for new agents, the uncomfortable questions for new agents. And some of those are related to health questions. That's the first part of this, but it's a requirement to know what you're getting into and not being afraid to poke and prod in those underwriting questions. The other are budget questions, talking about the money, about bank accounts, about where what they're getting for their Social Security to make it work on their budget. All of those pieces, I think people shy away from that. And it's out of discomfort, but what they don't realize is they're losing trust, because a lot of people know that you are providing a solution to their needs, and the only way you can do that is to know their affordability. They're used to this, having these conversations. So if you didn't do it, it would be weird.
You can never know what they need if you don't know what they have.
Yeah,
right.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And to finish up that, every sit, every presentation you do, you need to be able to assume the sale. So when we're looking at being a difference maker, we're saying every phone call, we're doing the same thing with every client, regardless if it seems as if it's an easy one or a lay down, or if it's a client that is giving you resistance at the beginning. We're going to do our sales process of belief, trust, stakes, options, solutions. We're going to maintain confidence and control. We're going to use the names of the important people. Mm-hmm. We're going to ask the health and budget questions. And most importantly, we're going to continue to move and assume the sale, continue to move forward. Jumping into number 3 of what we want to focus on. In order for us to win the day, we must follow up until they buy or they die.
Yes, respectfully.
Respectfully, right? Respectfully.
Yes. Yeah.
What does that mean, Chris?
The one thing I talk to agents about is their attitude towards leads. And I'll tell an agent many times they approach it like it's their mother's fine china, and they don't want to break it. And the reality is it's Tupperware. It's far more durable than you think it is. The same thing with my kids when they handed me Cameron when we came out of the hospital. I was like,
bounce him off the floor?
No, well, what are you doing? Like this, you're giving him to me, and I'm going to put him in a car, and there are other cars on the road. You're out of your mind. And then Ty, we're seeing how far we can throw him up in the air.
Which is the second child.
The second child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same thing with the leads. They're very durable. And there's a lot of opportunities in there. Maybe you had some folks who didn't show up for whatever reason. I know the agents do this. They internalize that.
Yes.
And they think it's me, or they are not really interested. Here's what the truth of it. Life happened.
I did that.
Did you?
I did that. I did that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life happened. Their sister needed something. They forgot. They didn't want to talk in that moment.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities there just to continue reaching out. The people who said they need to think about it, they will think about it.
How many agents, honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, when you hear that, I need to think about it, and you end up don't closing it in that next 2 minutes because most likely you're going to put an immense amount of pressure right following that, instead of realizing where we missed it previous in the sale. But we put so much pressure on that, and then once we get off the phone, we never call them again.
Well, you heard, and right or wrong, you heard no.
Yep.
No. Worse than that, you heard I don't need it. And there's not clarity. There's a lack of clarity there. You're still learning. Maybe you didn't do your job right. And here's what they will do. They will think about, they're not going to think about it when they hang up with you. They're going to think about it when they're in bed, and they're going to feel a twinge of discomfort that something's not right. and that's going to continue to happen. So yeah, we're gonna follow up with those folks who needed to think about it. You're going to be surprised that there are conversations there where you can serve them. Underwriting status calls, where maybe there are instances where you're learning your underwriting and you didn't. You're slow. They don't feel like you know what you're talking about. You're saying something like diabetic neuropathy, and it's diabetic neuropathy, and they're not, they're like, what did you just say? Is that a real word? So they told you they wanted to think about it, but they got fatigue in the process and they shut it down. Or you tried multiple carriers. It didn't work out. Great. Well, you can follow up with those people and see if you can find something that works for them.
Yeah, and one I will add to this is when it comes to really following up till they buy or die. This isn't always before the sale. It could also be after the sale when you have a pending termination for a potential. A bank got switched over because maybe they had fraud on their card and they switched banks or switched bank accounts and forgot to notify you. There's so many times where early in my career that I would see those and be like, oh man, I really like them. We had a great connection, and man, I guess I need to go dial a new lead, or I guess I need to knock on a new door. When what I realized is when I got over that fear of myself or that fear of rejection, or they didn't want to call me and tell me, or even if I got voicemails, just following up with them to really see what's really going on. And we knew this was important to them. Like the money is in the follow-up before and after the sale. It's maintaining the relationship. It's everything.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would start those conversations when I got those notifications, which is funny. They still come in letters, but I get it. With, hey, Mrs. Jones, I don't want to alarm you, but it appears that the policy we got to make sure Josie's taken care of, that the payment was not processed. So don't panic. We're going to make sure that that's taken care of.
It's that simple.
The reason I use that language is because I think there are times when sometimes a client bit off more than they could chew, but they're embarrassed. Something came up and they're embarrassed. That word embarrasses there. They're not going to pick up the phone and call you and reset it. Yeah. They're just gonna let it go. So if you are respecting their dignity and having that conversation with them as if there was a glitch in the matrix or the system, it's a system issue and not them issue, they'll have the conversation with you and tell you what's really going on.
And I'll back you up on that, Chris, because once I started to really dive into that, is my business really started to hit another level, even with the relationships and referrals because of the service. But what I found was about 50% of the people that were canceling didn't even know they were canceling or their policy was terminated at all. So immediately, half of those right back on the books, no problem at all, just whatever little issue. Another 30% of those that knew they were terminating, right? It was generally because they bit off more than they could chew, just like you said, and they were embarrassed about it and they didn't want to call about it. They felt ashamed. Yeah. So they were just, I guess, going to give it up completely, or then at another time get another insurance policy. And then about, I guess, the other 20% is people just didn't answer, couldn't get a hold of them, and just didn't want it anymore, right? For whatever reason. And that's okay.
And I had a client, because of our relationship, I had a client who at times would call me and tell me of the challenges, and they were always living in the free look period. But I was doing whatever I could to keep her updated and let her know. And at one time, unfortunately, her policy lapsed, but it was important to her enough, and this was after 3 years, that we rewrote another policy for her. We were in constant communication. She would let me know what's going on in her life. And guys, like, being a difference maker. And in that specific instance, there were times where I would drop off groceries to her. I'm not saying I've learned that from other people. Okay. So I've learned that, but that is something you can do, and people will refer you as a difference maker and help other people.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a requirement. I'm just saying it's an opportunity.
Say number 4 on the things that we need to do every single day in order to win. One is train, right? We need to learn. We need to train on what actually moves the needle. And this isn't hype. This isn't motivation. This isn't, Chris slapped me a couple of times. Let me get going. I'm going to pick up the phone.
I will win. That's good stuff, but you can listen to that in the car.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do that. I'm just saying we have to be able to sharpen our saw every single day, and we're doing that. And that is like, training on objection handlings, because in telesales, there is a lot of objections. We need to understand, which ones are we getting? What is the true reason behind it? Why are we getting them? Is it possible? And what do I need to do to prevent it?
There was a great, this is dating myself, great Seinfeld episode. And George Costanza, the character in it, can't get anything right. Somebody said something to him in a meeting that insulted him, and he drove away from that meeting so frustrated, and he was saying all the things that he would have said in that moment that would have been zingers right back at the guy. And it was funny to watch that moment in the episode, and then finally it does happen where somebody says something and he was prepared, and then he just picks up his stuff and walks out the room. It's a great scene. But I thought of that, Zach. When I was out in the field, I thought of that scene because I was thinking I was flat-footed. I was not prepared for that conversation. Yeah. And I would, music off, practice that objection and that rebuttal over and over again until the next set. Because of that, I didn't want to be a George Costanza moment again,
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I mean, you have to train every single day and get better. If not,
even
you're
if it's
falling
yourself,
back.
Even if it's you training you,
100%. You can do so many different things, but learn the underwriting nuances between carrier and between the app. Knowing what it's really asking. Talk to the underwriters at the actual insurance company to figure out where the gray area is and where does it normally fall with this medication or that one. Learn the products, right? This is very simple, and I'm not saying you're a brand new agent and you've never made a dial. Zach said I need to do all this first. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying become the expert on the companies, how long they've been around, everything you need to know about them. Most importantly, how to navigate their EAP, right?
And how do they serve the client? Like there's a great product out there that offers orphan benefits to when parents pass, or if a parent passes. Like that's a great product, especially for people who have a value on education and love their grandkids.
Absolutely.
Like, great stuff, man. Yeah. So know where they fit.
Constantly learn about tone and pacing, which is unique to you, because we all have different personalities. We all have different accents. We all have a different way that we naturally speak, so when we adjust tone, we adjust our pace, our call control, we need to continue to dial those in to make them, to give us the best chances possible to communicate clearly with our clients. So we really need to train every single day at some piece, some part of that. And I would say this fifth one, Chris, is this is probably happening to 90 or higher percentage of agents.
I think 117%.
You're probably right, 170%. But it's all about focusing on guarding your mind while you're doing telesales. Guarding your mind if you're working from home, even if you're at a coffee shop or a library, just telesales in general. What does that mean to you?
I think it's having, I would say, guardrails up on your business. When you're at home, you're playing on somebody else's home court, and it's your home. It's your literal home court.
Just confused everybody on the podcast.
Well, you think of a visiting team going to a spot, your business is competing against your home life.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. So your business is now on the home court advantage where anybody can knock on the door to your office and demand your time. If you were working at Ford on the line, that wouldn't happen if they are not sponsors of the podcast. So Ford, we'll take some money. But if you were away at your job, nobody's calling you and saying, can you run and get some eggs? We're fresh out of milk. That's not going to happen. Or the lawn needs mowed. On your own, you're looking out the window and thinking those things.
And this doesn't creep in typically all the time, right?
Yeah.
Like this is something that maybe you've had a couple calls that didn't go the way you wanted. And now you have the self-doubt creeping in. You have the anxiety, you have the pressure. Maybe you didn't buy enough leads so you don't feel that you have abundance of opportunity. Maybe you haven't practiced or studied enough. Just all of those different mental obstacles that an agent faces, it is amplified when we do telesales, and even more amplified when we're at home.
Yeah.
Like you said, well, it's a beautiful day out, maybe this, maybe that, or you become the most available nanny in the family to run every errand,
Very
to go
expensive.
everywhere, right?
So here's some things. Like you said, it's probably going to hit when you've had a frustrating moment. That will hit. It's going to hit when you wrote an application.
Yes, it will.
And it's going to hit when you're bored. Those are the areas where it shows up.
Yeah.
So these guardrails are incredibly important for you to stay on track to not get a sale, but to your mission, to your goals of what you're trying to accomplish. That's what this is about.
So how do we guard these every day? How do we guard our minds? What are the things we have to do every single day?
So number one, start at the same time. Like
just have a work schedule.
Consistent. Like you're handed, somebody chooses your work schedule when you have a job. You are the CEO who's determining those schedules for you, the number one employee.
Except you're not determining it every day. I want to be clear that it's not unique to every single day. Like in my opinion, you need to have your clock in and clock out. And that is every day for those number of days that you're working that week, for that number of, you have your whole month schedule lined out for you.
Yeah.
That is crucial, guys. There's so many agents that determine what their daily work schedule is to the moment almost.
Yeah. So you're saying like a server who says, I go in at 10 on Monday and 3 o'clock on Tuesday. It's not like that. We're saying be consistent every day with a set time. And Zach's going to walk through this sample of what that looks like.
Yes.
Zach, I like this. You said dress like you're going to work.
Yeah.
And so if you're in your, there's no pants Fridays at the office, right?
That's not here.
No, not here. So if you're
Adam's in favor, look at
Adam's in favor. So if you're wearing your micro mesh shorts and a polo, are you ready? Are you ready?
It's the same concept, right? They always talk about, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. They talk about, when you're playing sports growing up, sometimes you wore shirt and ties on game days, right? It's, look good, feel good, play good. It's the same concept when it comes to insurance. Like if you want people to take you seriously, at least take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
Right? As a professional. You don't want to sit there with your Call of Duty jammy pants on and your shirt looks like a midget's been hanging from the collar and your hair's messed up, right? Like, and picking up the phone and Miss Betty's trying to
Call of Duty jammies, man.
Dress like you're here to work, right? And eliminating TV, eliminating the scrolling on your phone, eliminating, I don't know if you're playing chess on an app. Adam.
Chess.
No, I'm just kidding. But like whatever you're doing, like we need to be dialed in and focused because this is go time. This is revenue generating activity time.
And the best way to tell yourself the truth about the activity is to honestly track everything.
Everything.
Your calls, conversations, presentations. When I say conversations, somebody answered. That's not a presentation. Presentation is you got to presenting some options or providing a solution. So those are key pieces. Number of applications, carriers that you're writing with, all of that is vital to know because if you're not, then it becomes about emotion. And if it's about emotion, then all these other pieces are probably need to be addressed as well.
100%. Structure beats motivation every single time. So let's give them a little snapshot.
Give them the snapshot.
This is what it looks like, and I'm not saying this is the only way to win. We just know that this has proven to win multiple times. Now, you have to take in consideration everything we mentioned above, but what does a day actually look like? So we're waking up, let's say whatever time you're waking up, whatever you have to do, take your kids to school, your daily devotionals, whatever that looks like. But when it comes to work time, we're looking at about 8 to 8:30. We're going to do some pre-training. We're going to do our prep work. this is no different than warm-ups before a game, right? We're going to practice our script. We're going to go through maybe some early objections. We may record ourselves and listen back to it to make sure our tone and pacings feels right. We're going to make sure our mindset is dialed in. We're going to do anything and everything getting ready for tip-off is what we're doing here. Then from 8:30 to 12, what are we doing?
We're just dialing.
We're dialing,
having conversations, writing apps, dealing with objections, getting yelled at, hung up on, and cussed at.
But we're in this, right?
Yeah.
Like we're going. This isn't move through my morning, check my mail, like read the newspaper. Like at this point, like 8:30 to 12, we are after it and we are focused. We're warmed up. We're dialing in. We will take, and some people do this, some people don't. But maybe we'll go from 12 to 1 and do some follow-ups. So these are people that we've spoke to yesterday. We've had those conversations, but maybe we weren't able to have a presentation. We didn't maybe lock down an appointment. Maybe we did have an appointment. These are the people that maybe wanted to think about it. We're talking about the monies and the follow-up. We're going to address some of those here as well. So we're going to be doing our follow-ups between about 12 and 1. And then I think this is underrated and very important, but from 1 to 2, we're gonna take a lunch and a reset. This is not typically the biggest prime time, right, in the day, but we're gonna make sure we eat. We're gonna make sure our energy's up. We're gonna make sure we're nourished because that does matter. You can't go all day and have a goal of doing 8 to 10 or 12 presentations and feel that you're not getting fatigued.
Yeah.
And we don't want that to affect. So from 1 to 2, we're looking at like a lunch and reset time, take a walk, do some push-ups, do a workout, listen to music, whatever you need to do. And then at 2 o'clock, what are we doing, Chris?
At 10 o'clock.
2.
Oh, 2 o'clock. I was like, wow, we really jumped. Yes. We're going back to dialing. Going back to dialing. And you may find that you're doing some presentations, some appointments, but you are on your phone.
Absolutely. So for that window of 2 to 8, and this is what we recommend. I know for those of you agents that don't know, well, I don't want to work past 5 or 6. That's okay, but that has to be your choice. Probably the most important time of your day is going to be probably that 5:30 to 8.
Prime time.
It
prime
really
time.
is. It's the prime time. So understanding this is the recipe that we're looking for. So we're back dialing and hustling from 2 to 8. And then from 8:30 to 9, we're doing kind of our cool down, right? We're taking notes. What did we learn today? What objections did we have today? What objections do we need to learn how to overcome or practice some of those rebuttals before the next day?
Yeah.
What appointments do we have following up on? What do we have cooking? Just really cooling down our day and preparing ourselves mentally for the next day.
That notes in the next day prep is, I think, highly underrated. I was on the Instagram machine. I saw this young lady who's rowing across the Atlantic Ocean, and she does a daily post about it. It's amazing. It is absolutely incredible. She ends her day with a captain's log, and I thought that was just for Star Trek. She ends her day with a captain's log, and she writes down what she's learned, her location, what's left, where depending on what's left in her journey, and then some emotional stuff like things that she's processing. I think it's important to track your journey because you're going to feel different in month 3 than you do here today. In 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, you're going to feel completely different. And you need to know those benchmarks and where you came from along the way. So good stuff.
Absolutely. I want to touch one thing, and then I'll let you wrap this up, Chris. But this is the recipe to win. Mm-hmm. It isn't the recipe to participate or be selected, right? So if you really want to win at a high level, this is the schedule, this is the discipline, this is the things you need to incorporate every single day. Mm-hmm. In like we talked about your sits, we talked about your follow-up, all of that in order to win at a high level. If you're not winning, it may be because you're doing one of the following, all right? Mm-hmm. Multitasking during your calls. So you may be doing other things. You may be scrolling on your phone. You could be doing anything other, working on something in your personal life while you're scrolling through in that work hour. You're not able to block and segment that out. Another one is
stopping dialing when you get a rejection.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how much time is being killed there. I will say this too. The other part of that is carrying a negative emotion into the next dial. You have no idea how impactful that is. Instead of segmenting each call as an individual person with specific needs that you're addressing and helping, you can't carry that in, and you can't stop just because. Just here, let's do this. You're going to get rejected. It's part of it. It's the only way to win. It's the only possible way to win. So do not. If you think you're going to go into this and that's not going to happen, sorry.
The other one is blame. Mm-hmm. Blame anybody for anything else, right? Blaming on the leads, blaming on just whatever you can think of. Why you didn't get the last sit? It's never your fault. So we can't be casting blame on things. Or what I have done is skipping the follow-ups, being relentless, not having emotion or weird feelings, or not wanting to bother him after he told me he's interested and we spent an hour together and he wants to think about it. Like, we're right there at the finish line. Yeah. Let's make him feel supported. Let's figure out what he's still concerned with, and let's see what we can do to help their family. So skipping follow-up is a big no-no. Or like you said, alluded to, is that emotional instability, the feelings that you get after a hang up, or allowing that stuff to affect you to make you feel like you're going to shut it down and just call him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like, don't ever put off anything you can do today till tomorrow.
We've heard that in a lot of boot camps, that if they were not at a boot camp in the second day, they would have stopped. But they were the force function of the peer pressure in a boot camp made them continue, and they had some success as a result of it. I want that for everybody. I want everybody to have those wins. We have to eliminate these things. So look at yourself and be honest with yourself. Are you multitasking? Are you stopping? Are you carrying emotion into the next call? Are you blaming the leads? Are you skipping the follow-up? And there's money for you. There's a life change for you if you're willing to do the work that matters.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Well, guys, that is what we have for you today on what does a day look like for top producers. Reminder that you need to talk to seniors every day. That's non-negotiable. Be a difference maker. Follow up until they buy or die, respectfully. Train on what moves the needle. Train yourself on what moves the needle. Guard your mind working from home. And we did give you that sample. We'll probably throw that in the chat section or the comment, the description for you guys for that sample work day. And then just stop doing the things that are distracting you from actually winning. Final expense, telesales rewards consistency. The people you see on this podcast that we interview are the people who show up every day.
Absolutely.
That's it. And they might have a superpower that's working for them, but you do too. Every single one of you have a superpower that's working for you. It's not really talent. It's the consistency that wins. So hopefully this brings value to you guys. Reminder, hit the subscribe button. If you're getting value out of this, I think we have, about 60% of our listeners. So our 60% are not. I thought it was the other way. Yeah. So hit that subscribe button. You'll get the updates of stuff that's coming out. I know we have other podcasts where there are some actual teaching that's being done. We got some cool stuff for 2026. Keep an eye out.
Yeah, boot camps, got live coaching. Mm-hmm. We have courses dropping. A lot of excitement coming.
It's sick. It slaps. That's what Adam says around here. Life and content slaps. So thank you guys, and we will catch you on the next Life Insurance Academy podcast.